to the Warzone Amateur Hour podcast.
Welcome back to the Warzone Amateur Hour podcast. This is episode number 115. We are officially in February of 2022, which means Season 2 of Warzone 2 is coming down the pipeline. We should have already been there, basically. You know, they had made promises. They set dates and deadlines, and you know us, we expected them to hit it, but they didn't, so we gotta wait. That said, while we waited, I know you and I, Cowboy, dropped into quite a few games together this week. Had some intense endings, one of which I remember specifically. We came out victorious, others we did not, but that said, I want to hear from you, Cowboy. How was your week in the Warzone this week?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that people know that intense endings are kind of my thing. So, yes, we had quite a few of them this week, which was fun. You've been playing well, you know, and I've been playing bad. So, I don't think, we didn't cross the finish line together, I don't think this week.
We did, not as a duo, but as a trio.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. We definitely got some victories, going for nukes, you know, the usual. Not quite getting there, but that's a whole nother conversation. That's fucking hard. 5 in a row is no amateur task. But yeah, the week was basically the same as it's been for the last 8 weeks. Other than that, you know, same old shit. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, coming off of last week, it was a heated episode. Certainly from my perspective, maybe have cooled down. Definitely had more success this week in the Warzone, but still, it's as sweaty as ever. But I am adapting, upping my own sweat level, which we will meant to talk about last week. But yeah, there was, though, one big change this week, which I guess we can just dive right into, which is, I mean, again, we know they listen to the podcast, but this was a remarkable turnaround. Because on January 30th, I drop into a game, we buy a loadout, we pick our loadout, and I mean, my head's always up my ass when I'm playing this game, so I didn't notice, but fortunately a teammate of ours, Sparks, was like, wait a minute, my perk package got reset. This isn't Bird's Eye anymore. I'm not running Bird's Eye. It's like the quick fix one.
Spotter and shit.
Yeah, and then we end up, I think, making our way to a stronghold, and we're able to check through the loadouts, and sure enough, all of ours that had Bird's Eye were no longer active. Come to check Twitter, find out they issue a tweet saying the Bird's Eye perk has been disabled in Battle Royale until further notice, while we balance it for future implementation into customizable perk packages. Thoughts on this, Cowboy?
You know, I actually wasn't aware that this had happened, and that's why I've been kind of confused when I've gotten to my loadouts of late and been like, wait, where the fuck is Ghost? Where's my high alert? Where's all this shit? I didn't realize they reset it. This is the first I'm hearing about this and connecting the dots, to be honest.
Well, your Ghost and your other ones wouldn't be effective. It was affected. It was just if you had a Bird's Eye perk, that was removed from the game, so then it would just defaulted you to like the very first one, which I think has a quick fix is the ultimate perk in there.
Okay, yeah, I need to go through my perks anyway. I got a lot of updating to do on my side of things. I've just been getting so lazy because nothing fucking changes, and I've just been unmotivated to change myself, you know?
Yeah, it's an eternal question, and certainly we're in limbo right now, you know, purgatory, we could call it. We're not at Paradiso, and we're not in Inferno. I think we're closer towards Inferno, but right now we're in fucking limbo here, in the middle, waiting to find out what Season 2 brings. But yes, I'm curious, though. I mean, again, first off, though, like I said, last week we literally said, we talked about perk packages, customizable perk packages. We said, well, first things first, get fucking Bird's Eye out of here, or fix it so that it makes sense. It sounds like they have done the former in order to achieve the latter. Am I right?
Yeah. Yes. I guess you're right. Does it matter? No. Nothing fucking matters anymore. Sorry, I need to turn it around on the positivity train. Sorry.
Well, I think this actually really fucking matters considering I was only running Bird's Eye. And I think this was a huge win. The question first off is why did it take him so fucking long to do this? But B, now the perks have been opened back up. I'm running High Alert again, which is fun. I don't feel like an OP a-hole. Other people are running Ghost now. So, and some people I think are even running the one with Restock. So I think this is a huge change. But again, I think this was all they needed to change with perks. And then we would have been looking good for season 2. But we're going to have this customizable shit. What are your thoughts, though? You haven't. What are you running now as your perk set?
OP a-hole. I just love that phrasing. Well, I need to update this. Really High Alert, I think, is the OP situation at the moment. Resupply is also incredible, especially if you're running smokes, right? Which have become incredibly
Well, I think you
useful.
can actually, the two choices for High Alert are High Alert and Fast Hands and High Alert and Restock, I believe.
Okay. Okay.
I'm running the one with High Alert, Fast Hands, which I find fantastic pairing there.
Yeah, I like Fast Hands too. I think Fast Hands is sneaky underrated too. I think people don't realize, especially if you're sniping, because for some reason I feel like sniper movement and LMG with the RPK, it's just like a slow go, especially if you're, wheeling and dealing and you're moving weapons around. Like Fast Hands is good. But yeah, High Alert is the key right now, I feel like, right?
It's definitely, Ghost too, though. Now Ghost is back on the table with Bird's Eye now gone. People buying more UAVs. You can find quite a few. Having that ability to stay off the radar, now valuable again. But I think the vast majority, I would say, probably running the Fast Hands High Alert. And Fast Hands, that's an evolution of a perk. It used to just be, I felt like, Sleight of Hand, which all you would do faster was reload, which was very beneficial. But now it's like with Fast Hands, it speeds up everything. It's like reloading, swapping weapons, throwing equipment, just like taking a shit in the field. I don't know. It does it all faster.
Fast Hands, wiping your ass fast.
But so that said, I'm curious. I guess my second question to you now is when they bring the Bird's Eye perk back, how do you have that work in Warzone? Because in Modern Warfare, the way it works is it zooms out your TAC map. And when somebody calls a UAV, you basically get a super where you can see the nose icon where they're facing. That was basically it for Bird's Eye.
That's, an insane perk for Warzone. I don't think you bring it back, right? You can't. That's too much. It's too much. It's just, it becomes a no-brainer default UAV.
Well, they want to bring it back because, while we balance it for future implementation, they want it coming back. It's coming back, dude.
Or maybe, what they could do is just make it really short, like maybe it's just like one blip of the radar. So you could just see like real quickly what's around you. And then you're like, oh shit, they were there. And then, but like when it's up for like 30 seconds or for a long time, it's unfair.
Sorry, to clarify, in Modern Warfare multiplayer, it doesn't come on when the enemy calls a UAV. It's only when when your team has it. So what I'm kind of saying is if they were to apply that version 1-to-1 to Warzone, I don't think it would be OP. I just don't know if it'd be useful enough to be used. That's what I'm saying.
Wait,
how are they going to thread the needle here?
Is the impact then like what Bird's Eye does if it's not when your enemy calls it, which was the break here, which I thought what you had just explained. But so basically what it is that you just get a zoomed out version of your TAC map or your what is that called? The ping, the upper left-hand corner map.
Yes, the TAC, the TAC, your compass map, fucking mini map. There it is.
Your mini map. So it zooms out your mini map and you can see a little bit more and you can see who's on the map. That's all it does when your team calls a UAV. So the only thing is it shows you like an extended version of your mini map.
Well, in multiplayer, it's currently in there. Yes, that's how it functions. But the zoomed out mini map for me, I found that super helpful. But yes, essentially the only time it fucks with UAVs is if your team calls a UAV. In multiplayer, you have Bird's Eye. Your mini map's already zoomed out, but then you get, instead of just the normal like rectangular blips, you get the actual position of the player where they're looking, which in
like
multiplayer, it's a good perk, but it's not like the meta in multi. But yeah, the question is then if they apply it to Warzone just like it is there, I don't think it's strong enough to even have people running it at all. So my question is kind of like, how would you thread the needle on Warzone with that in mind, how it functions in multiplayer?
I think that isn't, I've been operating on this assumption that like you get UAVs, infinite UAVs when anyone else calls a UAV. If it's just when your team calls a UAV, you get that anyway. So essentially all you're getting is a zoomed out version of your mini map, which that's not OP. That's not going to change the game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, yeah, I was operating like when it was broken and the UAVs were coming from all directions, which is fucking not cool.
I don't know if I don't know if there's a way to balance it, because I think it's either going to be something that not worth running at all, or like it was before, fucking overpowered, everyone's running it. So as of now, I'm fine with it being out. It's definitely, thank God for that, because having the ability to do custom perks along, like to do like, I don't even know what would be fast hands and bird's eye, that would have been a fucking meta nightmare. So congrats for getting that out. Curious how they're planning to balance it. Yet to see. Maybe it's like the attack helicopters from Warzone 1 where they'll say, yeah, they'll be back. And then it's like your uncle that went to go get cigarettes that one Christmas Eve you haven't seen for fucking 20 years.
Yeah. Wow. Anyway.
Deep-seated trauma. All right. Well, any final thoughts before we move on? Because there was some additional drops this week.
No, let's keep moving.
All right, well, of interest to many a player in the Amateur Hour community is the return of Resurgence game mode and a brand new Resurgence-themed map. Well, this week they finally lifted the curtain. We got a glimpse at it, and I gotta say it was refreshingly surprising to see what seems like a very brand new direction, especially in terms of aesthetics for Warzone. And this brand new map that was released is called Ashika Island. Did you have a chance to look at any of the stuff going on with this brand new map coming here season 2?
No, I actually haven't. I was waiting to get an initial reaction on the pod here. So scroll on down and let Daddy take a peek.
I got the page up on the press release and I'm scrolling. Here we go. It's a first glimpse. Here's all the various areas, but you can't quite see it. It is a Pacific themed map here, but wait, till we get some of the main architecture. So I'm showing you here, look, there's some familiar favorites, but also just the overall fogginess, dreariness.
Let's call it a marine layer.
Marine layer. Thank you, Scientist Cowboy. But yeah, these are the various zones. I thought it would give us more of an overview here, but here I can pull up this area specifically, though, the ancient or the main stronghold. Really beautiful stuff there. I don't know what are your thoughts here looking at this?
It's beautiful. Yeah, I didn't realize we were going back in time here. I wonder when the zombies are going to come. Yeah, can we get an overview of the map on the thing that you're sharing with me? These pictures not giving me the full picture of the map and what we're working with. But
Let me switch over to Twitter because
this is Rebirth, though, right? This is going to be our Rebirth Island map.
This is our new, to put it lightly, yes, our new Rebirth, our new Resurgence map, Resurgence game mode, as we said, coming. Let me find the actual TAC map.
I mean,
here.
We're going to be playing this map a lot coming up, which is Ashika Island.
So, yeah, Ashika Island. I have now the TAC map, the bird's eye view of it. And I think we talked about it months back. There was a leak claiming the new Resurgence map coming to Warzone 2. Well, sure enough, that leak was fucking pretty much dead on balls accurate.
You know what's
but here's
really fascinating about the shape of this map? Just go with me for a second. The top 50% of this, with the exception of the peninsula, looks like the United States of America, right? You have like from the West Coast down to California, and then you have Florida on the right side there. And then the bottom of this looks like a compressed little bit of South America with Chile kind of wrapping down at the bottom there in Brazil. It looks like they mashed together North America and South together. South America. Do you see what I'm saying? Doesn't that look like the...
Yeah.
It looks like the United States and then South America smashed together.
If I'm on acid, yeah. But that said, it is an island, as indicated by the title. It looks like somewhere, in the Pacific Ocean. Asian-inspired architecture, varying levels of topography. It looks like there's a castle in the center. There's a port. There's a shipwreck. Some residential areas, a beach club, a town center, and Oganiku Farms. So a lot to explore. Some people have done like a scaling, with their little scientist measurements to kind of compare how does it stack up to the size of Rebirth. I believe they're saying it's bigger than Rebirth, but slightly only, but maybe not as big as Fortune's Keep. It is designed by the same team that brought you Fortune's Keep. Now, what are your thoughts after this first impressions here?
It kind of feels like a Fortune's Keepy, like the visual of it. It feels like it's got that kind of like saturated, bubbly look to it. Yeah, I mean, definitely it feels like, I mean, those look like cherry blossom trees. There's definitely like some like historical Japanese architecture built into this, especially in the rooftops. I mean, I'm no architect, but it certainly feels that way. I mean, it looks great. I mean, I don't. Ooh, jet skis. I'm seeing jet skis.
That's true.
Which would be really cool. Also, cave systems. That's definitely a cherry blossom tree. Really interesting. I wonder. Oh, man. Yeah, this looks pretty next level. I'm seeing a lot of helicopters. I wonder if there's going to be any kind of helicopter action on the island like there was on Rebirth of Past. But are we going to, the question is that I have is, are we going to call this Rebirth Island, or are we going to actually call this, what is it called?
Ashika Island.
Ashika. Are we going to call it Rebirth or Ashika? I think we stick with Rebirth.
All right, I'll probably call it Ashika Island.
I'm calling it Rebirth for the record.
It's not Rebirth, but yeah.
Well, it's technically a Rebirth
Seems
Island.
like you're excited to drop in. I'm still kind of an Al Mazrah boy, but I'll check this out. Maybe it'll be the alternative to leveling shit up. Or we'll see how the games go. We'll see how it feels. Because as I said previously, my thoughts about Resurgence, I feel like until they get this TTK resolved a bit, I don't know if I'm going to look that forward to it. But we always had a good time on the old Rebirth. This is not Rebirth. It is Ashika Island. But yeah, looking forward to it.
Yes, I am looking forward to it as well. When's this dropping? That's the main question. When is this dropping?
Woo! Now, last week we were a little separate. This week we're on the same wavelength. Just going to get that info out there. Yes, as mentioned, Season 2 was delayed. It was supposed to go live on February 1st, but it is officially happening February 15th. That is when Ashika Island is dropping. But the full roadmap for Season 2, where we're going to get a lot more info about what's coming, that's coming in a few days, actually, only 2 days after the release of this episode. So that's coming on February 8th. So we will have that big review, review next week. But a rumor floating around, and as we've said, tracking the rumors from the start, they all have pretty much come to fruition. There's a rumor that as part of what's coming with Season 2 will be redeploy balloons. Thoughts on that, Cowboy?
I'm excited for this. I think that the map is kind of built for those. There's like so many like giant open spaces. I'm looking forward to, and also like traversing up to Observatory and like getting places with different altitudes, kind of a pain in the ass on this map. I think it's going to be a fantastic addition. I'm surprised we haven't talked about it before this.
Yeah, I'm right with you. There's so much open space in Al Mazrah. It was such an awesome addition in Warzone 1. Unclear why it wasn't there from the start, but boy, do I welcome it. I think it's going to open up a lot of areas that are kind of pain to migrate out of, and other areas are going to become less OP that were like, what is it? Sharim Village, where there's like the elevated buildings on top of that town. It's kind of hard to push that because they have such a height advantage. You throw these in there, or like, Observatory is a great spot because you can kind of parachute off to anywhere on the map, and it kind of becomes a hub for that. Well, I feel like these addition of these, redeploy balloons is going to make that similar flexibility around the map. So yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how it changes gameplay, but you're right. It's like, you can kind of really hold people if you have a height advantage on this map, but this kind of changes things.
Yeah, it's it's going to be a good thing. I'm curious what else they might be bringing over because portable buy stations, love to see those back. The redeployed, the tokens they started introducing late, not a fan of those. I'm glad those aren't in the fucking game, so good riddance to those. But yeah, portable redeploy balloons, portable buy stations, portability could help.
Portability is definitely something that we've been having a hard time with on this map, so I am excited about it. When are these supposed to drop?
So that's a rumor, not yet confirmed, but as mentioned, the official roadmap to Season 2 is coming February 8th, so maybe if it's true and imminent, we should know then. But we'll keep an eye out. We'll track this rumor. You talked about portability. You talked about speeding things up, maybe drop shot and maybe bunny hopping. Well, Tron has always that's eluded him, those movements, those things. But recently I made an upgrade to a level of sweatiness, a peak level of sweatiness. I can't really get sweatier than this. And that is that I purchased a brand new controller, Cowboy, one in which it has back paddles on it. So I'm now a paddle boy.
Have we played together with your paddles yet?
Dude, we've been this whole last two.
What?
I meant to talk about it last episode, but we ran out of time.
Wow. So is that why you've been sweatier? Have you noticed a difference?
Okay, well, so boy, was this a journey, humbling experience. You're excited to get these brand new things. I've never had a controller with paddles, full disclosure here. I didn't even know what I was going to map the buttons to. So that was like my first odyssey. Finally decided on my left paddle is now jump and my right paddle is now crouch. And that is that. But it was such a learning curve to remap my brain to these new remapped controls because previously I would put my index fingers on R1 and L1 and then my middle fingers were on the main triggers. So I was used to pulling my middle fingers to ADS and to fire. Well, with the new system, I basically shifted the old fingers down. So now my trigger fingers are on the trigger, middle fingers are on the paddles, and I was having a fucking hell of a time trying to aim at people. I'm throwing smoke grenades. But yes, I have adjusted, and I definitely feel sweatier. Still haven't programmed my brain to do those advanced movements like drop shotting and stuff, but I'm jumping more into gunfights, which feels cool. Come around a corner, jump at a motherfucker.
Wow. I mean, you've definitely been racking up more kills. So I think this is helping you. I think that you should stick with this, in short.
Yeah, I mean, the more I play, the more I'm getting adapted to it. It's a lot of fun. If you have the means out there, I recommend it. If you're running console or PC, in a controller, that edition is nice. But yeah, also speaking of sweatiness, speaking of nukes, meant to mention it off the top, but had a few games recently where I've been part of nuke lobbies. Somebody's going for a nuke. One of which it was the main streamer. He's well known. Reed Boy, he plays on console. He didn't get it. It glitched out. I died. But another one, some randoms going for it. It's getting late game, Cowboy. I'm talking 15, 20 people. They have all of the items for the nuke. And so what happens is when you collect all the items, they issue a jailbreak and then they mark the detonation spot where they have to arm and fucking protect the nuke. It's at the base of the marshlands below Observatory. I'm one of a few people left in my squad. I said, we're probably not going to win this because there was only 2 of us left. But I'm going to fuck up these guys' day. So I make my way down there with a cluster mine, end up sneaking, using smoke, sneaking over to the spot, throwing a cluster mine on the buy, taking a few guys with me. Then I die. Hear my cluster bomb go off. The nuke failed, and I choose to believe I was a main part of stopping a fucking nuke, dude.
Wow. Did you go back and watch this?
I probably should have.
You should have. You definitely should have. And just
but then you could scrutinize it, and maybe I didn't. And then that's let's go with the version in my head. All right.
Yeah, you'd rather live in a fantasy land. I get you.
Well,
yeah. Like how you get all the kills, and I steal all my kills, and you don't fucking
until proven wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, have you been in a nuke game yet?
No, I actually haven't. I was thinking about that this week. I was watching Dr. Disrespect and Tim, the Tatman, try to get with some other guy they were playing with, and they couldn't get it. And I was just realizing like, damn, dude, there's no way I'm ever going to get this. But then I also realized like, I haven't even seen the notification. I haven't been in the game when it's gone down. No, I haven't. I guess it's that rare, you know, of all the games I've played, I've never been in one where it seems to be a very, you know, rare opportunity to find yourself in them. And I mean,
it creates a weird feeling. It's like this weird subplot going on while you're playing. Like we were playing this game. I'd been in maybe 2 nuke games prior and they failed pretty quickly. This one, it was like, oh, they got another part. Oh my God. Like, oh, the circle's getting smaller. Oh, they're still alive. And then it's like, oh my God, the bomb site. Like, we need to fucking stop these guys. It really becomes like, and to me, it's like, I don't know how these other guys pull it off ever.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, 5 is a lot. That is a lot in a row. I mean,
but
so
I know,
many things
the actual game of what you have to do seems so like difficult. Like when you have these parts, you're marked on the map like a most wanted.
So then you just like hunker down and you have to survive essentially. And if you survive, you win.
Well, so you collect the parts. They're like the elements that go into the nuke, and one of which the player carrying it or anyone near him suffers damage consistently. So you have to be kind of constantly plating up.
Yeah.
Because it's radioactive. And then, yes, you amass them, and then there's a bomb site where you have to then go arm the bomb, and then you have to protect it for like 2 minutes or something like that. People can come disarm it. Yeah, everyone's just coming, and you can't end the game or else you lose out too. So it's this crazy situation where, you know, the best players in the world struggling to do it. So even just getting to that game sounds crazy, but people have said there's not a lot going for Warzone to keep it interesting because stats aren't tracking all that. But this certainly is. I think it's a cool addition. And yeah, just call me like fucking Jason Bourne from now on.
I will not, but I thank you for sharing that.
All right. Well, nothing really else here on the agenda other than, I mean, it's open to you. You seem like you've been frustrated at the game. Any things you're looking to change, or what's going on with the Cowboy here in the world of Warzone 2?
I don't know if anyone else is having these issues, but it seems to be happening more lately. And again, maybe it's on my end with a connectivity issue, but my shots aren't registering at times, specifically with sniping. Like I've had many moments where it's not just like, oh, that was a headshot. What the fuck? It was like, I was shooting them in the chest, like full body shots, big in the scope. There's no way that's not at least hitting them. And then it fucking doesn't register. And I don't know what's going on. It must be like a connectivity thing. I'm not sure if anyone else is having that issue. I'm not like, I've been playing like garbage. I'm not saying that I am fucking like great and I'm complaining here, but something is going on my end. I'm not sure if anyone else is experiencing that. And that's been very frustrating. So yeah, that's really all that I got. And I'm trying to figure that out. I think I need to just hardwire in every time I play, which I haven't been doing, and I probably should, but it's kind of a pain in the ass. So, that's all I got.
I'd start checking the ping in both situations, see if there's a notable difference, or check your download speeds too. I mean,
there's also, we haven't talked about this, there's the fucking server crack. They do the lag server switches and shit. You know that thing where like you're in, and all of a sudden it just lags out, and people are doing that to win, to cheat. You know that shit.
Yeah, and I mean, just server issues as a whole have become a thing for sure. Lagging out or like massive lag spikes, or like you said, it feels like there's players doing this lag switching to basically lag everyone out of the lobby. So I don't know. They've talked about stability changes coming. You had your conspiracy theory that the removal of like the 3-plate satchel maybe was to solve some issues.
That's not a conspiracy theory, man. That's fucking based in reality.
Well, either way, maybe it's to address these hit reg issues. Hopefully improvements on the horizon, but like I'm playing on Wi-Fi myself, and
yeah, but you got that fiber.
Yeah, that's fucking
I don't
fair.
have fiber.
You're goddamn right, I do.
Wow.
And that paddle controller now, and a gaming monitor. Oh my God, what have I become?
Dude, it's fucking disturbing what you've become, just to be honest.
But the monitor is serving multi-purposes. It is actually a monitor for 3 different devices. For the record, let the record show, Your Honor.
No one gives a shit. Are we just killing time at this point?
Yeah, that's going to do it for us this week on the Warzone Amateur Hour podcast. Next week, we will dive into the official roadmap. Hopefully some new info on what's coming with Season 2. I believe there's new guns as well. So the meta might be getting shaken up more than a goddamn martini for James Bond. I'll continue adapting to using paddles. Cowboy will continue using his shitty connection as an excuse. We will talk to you all next week, and until then,
Good luck in the gulag.